Good evening, everyone. I now call this meeting to order. Let the time show that it is 6 p.m. Let the record reflect that we have 4 board members present by video conference. Next, I would like to adopt tonight's agenda. I motion to approve tonight's agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Next on the agenda is public hearing. We have a public hearing for revision number 1 of the 2025-2026 expenditure budget. I have been informed that there are no requests for comment, so we will move to item C, business services. Business services C1, revision number 1 of the 2025-2026 expenditure budget. Roland, would you like to kick us off with the conversation?
Yes, let me share my screen. All right, so tonight we are doing revision number 1 of the 25-26 expenditure budget. Last week we adopted the budget for 25-26. The adoption last week was using the preliminary budget forms provided by the state. Those preliminary budget forms did not include the legislative changes. And so we were provided the final budget forms in time for us to revise the budget tonight and meet the requirements for revising the budget. It's important to revise the budget for it to capture the appropriate budget that reflects all the legislative changes. So what I'm going to do over these next couple of slides is just kind of give you a recap of what was in the adopted budget limit and what are the changes that came through the legislature approval and that impact our budget, and then one other adjustment that we made, and then just kind of open it up for any questions. So when we adopted the budget last week using the preliminary forms with no legislative funding changes, our budget limit for M&O was $121,576,000. So one of the first things that is incorporated in the final budget forms is the legislature did officially approve the 2% base support level increase. This is the lesser of 2% or inflation. Inflation was greater than 2%. So with this being in the final forms officially, the additional budget capacity in M&O is a little over 1.7 million. These next 2 items are one-time funding that's being made available in 26. This one-time funding was also made available for the first time last year. And so this was an unexpected surprise. I wasn't expecting this, but I'm glad it's there. So it's in the budget using the amounts that we received last year for free and reduced price lunch, $306,000. For DAA supplement one time, $356,000. So we're capturing that budget capacity. The last part that was in the legislative changes was that the backfill for Prop 123, that was provided as a state aid supplement. Previously, this was funded from state land trust money, but it's now in the state general fund budget. And for Tempe Union, that supplement is just over $909,000. So we're capturing that. The one thing that when I built the adopted budget was built with the ADMs that we finished the school year in May. As I'm preparing the budget with the forms with all the legislative changes, I did this deliberately. I wanted to capture the projected enrollment decline. So following the trend line that our demographer has provided for the next 10 years, this is 3.33% drop was what we experienced last school year. So I'm providing that estimate for a decrease for this coming year following the trend line. As you know, we monitor the ADM that we earn based on what we approve. So you'll know as we go through December how far off we are from this estimate of reduction. But to capture a 3.33%, that is a drop of just under 2.6 million. So with all of those legislative changes in the budget and then incorporating the projected enrollment decline, our budget limit for M&O for revision 1 is 122,272,000. Over on the capital side, there were no changes legislatively to those formulas. So there is no change from the adopted budget to revision 1. So just to recap, our budget limits that were changed from the final budget forms are basically in the M&O budget, changing the adopted budget limit by 696,609. So those are the changes on the budget forms. Again, I wanted to make sure that we captured the correct budget limit so that as the county supervisors set the tax rate for us in next month, in the month of August, they'll have the correct budget amounts to use for Tempe Union. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions that you might have.
Board members, do we have any questions? I see that there are no questions. So therefore, we will move a motion to approve it with a item C1 with a roll call vote. Do we have a second? Is that my understanding, Mr. Carranza, that we have to do this with a roll call vote? Okay,
Correct.
just wanted to make sure for the public to understand the reasoning behind it. So I motion to approve item C1 through a roll call vote. Do I have a second? Seeing I have no second. So,
I second.
okay, I had a delay. Was that Vice President Steele or? Okay, I thought we were going to have to circle back around to this for more questions. So second on the table. So we will now go to the roll call vote. And if I could maybe get a visual too, maybe a head nod as long with your verbal, only because I'm having a little bit of a delay. I don't want to hold up the vote. So Board Member Montero.
Aye.
Board Member Gutierrez Miller.
Aye.
Vice President Steele.
Aye.
And I, Andres Barraza, vote aye. In favor, motion passes 4-0. Now the other issue, I believe, is we are now ready for the meeting close. Is that correct? Or am I missing something? Because I just want to make sure I have the right agenda in front of me. I'm sorry, Dr. Wilson.
Yes, next regular meeting, next
Okay,
regular
perfect.
meeting and then the adjournment.
I just wanted to make sure. I appreciate that. So the next meeting is scheduled for August 6th at 6 p.m. I motion to end tonight's meeting. Do I have a second?
I second.
Vice President Steele seconds. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. I call this meeting adjourned. Everyone have a wonderful night.